Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd as well as yarnspirations.com. I'm your host Mikey. Today I'm going to show you how to make this strawberry, yes, a strawberry dishcloth just like so. Now I ran out of red, so I just circled with pink. You know, again, the color choices are up to you. And then this pattern also comes with the leafy topper just like so, which is attached at the very end just like so. It's actually kind of just really easily on there, so you don't have to do a lot of work in order to prepare this for afterward. But today you're going to learn how to make a granny square, basically, well, not a granny square I guess, but a granny triangle in order to make this work, and I'll show you the ins and outs of being able to do so as well. So let's begin. Before I begin, I'm just going to let you know that I am going to differentiate from, or I'm going to deviate from the pattern just slightly, but you can follow along and just watch what I'm doing here in order to make it simpler. So what we're going to do is start off with a slip knot just like so, and then we need to create the center so that we can rotate around that. Let's begin by chaining 4. So 1, 2, 3 and 4, and we go into the beginning chain just like so, and we create a slip stitch so that we have a complete circle right in the center. Notice how I'm kind of putting this with the outside. I wanted to make sure it's trapped around the center of the ring so it's easy to hide. Let's begin the next step. We're going to begin, and we're going to start off by chaining 3, which in the rules of crochet counts as a double crochet, and we're going to double crochet 2 more times right directly into the center of that ring. So we're going to rotate around this ring. So we only want 3 sides instead of 4 as in a typical granny. So whenever we get to a corner in this particular project for when we're doing this kind of step, is that it's gonna be chaining a 3. 1, 2, 3. Typically in granny squares it's always 2. So we're going to then double crochet 3 more times into the center. So it needs that extra chain in order to make that curve in the corner that is more than a 90-degree angle. So once you get your 3 in there, chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, coming back into the center for another 3 double crochet. And then you're not done yet, so you have one corner here, one corner, but where's this corner? So you gotta finish it off. So you got a 1, 2 and 3, and then just slip stitch it to the top of the chain 3 that you started with, just like so. So how we start the remainder of this, so you can see that there's only 3 sides, so this is a triangle beginning. So I'll show you where to start the next round. The rounds are really easy to follow. In actual fact, once you get a hold of it, you might not even need to watch the rest of this tutorial. The next stitch, you're just gonna slip stitch until you can get to this corner here. So we're actually at the end of this corner, but we're not in the right position. We have to be over here. So we're just gonna slip stitch across the 2 top of the double crochets that are available to you, and also slip stitch into the chain 3 gap, and now you're ready to go. So here's what we're going to do for the corner. So you can see that there's 3 corners now, and we're just gonna chain 3, which counts as one of the double crochet, and you're gonna double crochet 2 more times, and 2 just like so, and then you're going to chain 3. Why are you chaining 3? Because you want to maintain that corner. So 1, 2 and 3, and then double crochet 3 times more into that same space. Just like so. So let's continue to go around. Okay, so here's where we are. We have one corner done, but here's the next corner, but we have to get there first. So in this pattern, every time you're jumping over spaces or jumping over stitches, you're always gonna chain 2. 1 and 2 to do so, and then we start the next corner, which is what? It's 3 double crochet and 3 chain and 3 double crochet all in the same space. So we can turn that corner. So that was 3 double crochet, chain 3 times, and then double crochet 3 times. Okay, so that's another corner, but here's the next corner over here, so we have to get there. So what do? We chain 2. 1 and 2, and then again double crochet 3 times, and then we're turning the corner, so that means it's gonna chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and then double crochet 3 more times. Okay, and then we have to get back to this corner here, but there's a space there, so we chain 2 first, and then we slip stitch it to the beginning of the top chain 3 that we started with, and we're ready for the next round, just like so. Let's begin round number 3. So again, just like how I showed you before, we have to make ourselves to the first corner. We're not there yet, we're actually early, so we have to slip stitch across the next 2 double crochets. So we're doing this every time we're doing a round, and then we double our slip stitch right into the chain 3 on the corner. And so now we're beginning to do the first corner, so we chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, double crochet 2 times. Okay, so then you have your 3 as in the rules of crochet, and then chaining 3, and then same space because we're still maintaining that corner, so double crochet 3 times. So now the corner is further apart from us now than it was before, so in each one of these spaces we're always going to put 3 double crochets, but how do we get there? We have to chain 2 first and then do the next. This is the gapping space in the middle between the corners, so every time you hit one of these it's always 3 double crochet and then chain 2. Now we're here on the corner, so it's 3 double crochet this time. So the corners are always the same, 3 double crochet, 3 chains and 3 double crochet, 1, 2 and 3. So the only difference is that there's gonna be more and more spaces put in between the corner spaces. That's the only difference. So now that you have that, our next corner is way over here, but we're not there yet, so we have to chain 2, fill in the spaces in between. There's only 1 this time. There will be more as this thing gets bigger, and there'll be 3 double crochets into each one of those and chain 2. Here's your corner, so 3 double crochet. Okay, chain 3 because you are in a corner, and then 3 double crochet again. Okay, so now the next corner is way over here. It's already done because we started it, so we only have the space left, so we chain 2 to get there, 3 double crochets into each one of the spaces in between the corners, and then chain 2 because we have to then attach it to the top of the chain 3. So in the next revolutions we have to do a few more of these, but I'm going to get you started because there's no difference of what I'm showing you right now. The only difference is that there will be more gapping spaces. You can see now you have your corners here, and now you have 2 more spaces, so that's the only difference. So let me get started on the next one. So you have 2 more revolutions to do this, so I'm going to start you off with the first one, is that we're gonna slip stitch ourselves to the corner just like you have been, and I'm gonna let you do both of these revolutions on your own. So you're going to slip stitch to the corner and now chain 3 and double crochet 3 times, chain 3 because you were in the corner, and then double crochet 3 times. Okay, and then we're now in the gapping spaces between the corners. So how we do that is chaining 2, and then we just fill it in with 3 double crochets into each one of the chain spaces going across. Okay, chaining 2 because you got another space, 3 double crochets here, and then you're chaining 2, and then finally your corner, so it's 3 double crochet, 1, 2 and 3, chaining 3, 1, 2 and 3, and then 3 double crochet. So I want you to finish this round just like I've showed you before, and then I want you to do one more round of this, and then we're gonna do something a little different from that point. So continue to do that. Now since I last left you, I did 1 extra round, and I'm just coming around and I'm just going to slip stitch it to the top of the beginning chain 3. So the final revolution that I have for you today is that we need to make sure that we have a nice thick border just like so. So how we achieve that is that we immediately start off and we don't make our way, we don't slip stitch our way to the corner like we have been. We immediately just chain up 3, and then we double crochet into each one of the double crochets that are available. No biggie, right? So on the corners what you're always going to do is that you're always gonna put in 5 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So when you're working your way down, you see that there's 3 double crochets, there's chain 2, 3 double crochets. So each one of the double crochets is going to get 1 double crochet. No biggie, right? So you're just following exactly what's there, and then simply when you get to your chain 2 spaces, you put in 2 double crochets into those spaces itself. Okay, so 1 double crochet into each of the double crochets, and chain 2 spaces will have 2 double crochets, and the corners will have 5 double crochets. So continue that all the way around, and then when we come back I'll show you more. So I'm making my way all the way around. I'm filling in my very last space of just 2 double crochets because that's what you need, and then we just have to slip stitch it to the top of the beginning chain 3. And then we're just gonna fasten that off and weave in our ends. So now you completely have a triangle, just needs to be stretched a little bit, and this is making up the strawberry. So in the next part of this tutorial I'm gonna show you how to make the leaf, and when you go to attach the leaf after you're done with it, you just have to go through the top of the top here. So you just slip stitch it right through an actual stitch, just like so. So you can see it's actually really loose there. If you want to sew more of it on, you can do so, but that's what it's calling for in the pattern. Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd as well as yarnspirations.com. Today's tutorial we're going to make towel toppers just like so. This is the leafy top, and I actually got this pattern from an existing pattern already on Yarnspirations, and this is a strawberry. I really liked the towel topper. The instructions are right here. This will take me a little bit more than 10 minutes in order to show you how to do it because I'm gonna take my time. But once you get one of these done, I just took a tea towel and I fanned it up and I slapped my stitch right through it so that I can hang this up when I'm not using it afterward. So this is a great little idea. I love the design. You can obviously change it to any colors that you wish. I did orange because I thought it complemented the green quite nicely. So today's tutorial I'm going to show you how to make one of these. Today's tutorial you're either going to need Lily Sugar and Cream or Bernat Handicrafter, depending on where you live may have access to this. You're also gonna need a size G 4mm crochet hook today, and you just have to do one solid color, but again this is your creativity. You can change it as many colors as you want and choose any color that you wish. So let's begin. I'm just going to start off with a slip knot, leaving an extra long tail to begin just in case I want to deal with that afterward. It is going to go through the wash machine, so you want to make sure that you are getting your loose ends all nice and snug into position. So we're going to start off with a slip knot, and I want you to chain 2. So let's do that. So 1 and 2, and then going to the beginning chain that you started with, I want you to put 5 single crochets into that same stitch. This will make it go into a semicircle. So 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 5. And we're not gonna go all the way around. This is only a semicircle. So now what I want you to do is turn the project around, and we're gonna start working going in the other direction. To begin row number 2, we're just going to begin by chaining 1, starting with the first one that is directly underneath. We want to put 2 single crochets into that one and into every one of the 5 that are there, so that we come to the next one that's available to you, and we put in 2 there as well. So 2 single crochets into each one of the stitches going across. So this went then from 5 stitches, and by the time you finish it's gonna turn it into 10. And we come into our last one, getting our 2 in there, and then that's row number 2. So let's begin our next one. Let's turn our work and begin. Let's begin our next one. We're going to chain 1, and we're going to put in 2 single crochets into the same one there. The same stitch underneath, and then the next one is going to be 1. So the repeat pattern going all the way across is that the next one is gonna have 2 single crochets, and then the next one will have 1. Okay, so the next one is 2 single crochets, and the next one will have 1. Keep doing that all the way across. So the next one is 2, so it's growing it evenly. And the next one is 1, and the next one is 2, and finally the last one is 1. That last one's kind of tricky, but I got it in there, and that's good to go. So that is round number 3. Let's turn our work, and we're now going to move up to round number 4. Again, a very easy one. We're going to chain 1 first, and we're going to single crochet into the same one here. So right underneath, and then we're going to single crochet into the next one. And this is when we're going to start creating the fan shaped leaves. This is the foundation of it. So we're gonna chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, coming into the same stitch for a single crochet. Okay, and then we're going to then put in 2 single crochets in a row, 1 and 2. So then the next one is going to be the same thing that you just did here. So it's single crochet to start, and then we chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then single crochet into the same one, and then single crochet into the next 2. Okay, so we're gonna start out in the next one. So it's 1 single crochet, and we're gonna do the 6. Just so you know that, see how it's right directly above? I know that I'm in the right position. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then single crochet into the same one. And what I mean by that is that there's only 5 leaves, so I notice that the middle leaf there is right on top of the middle one right there. So we're going to single crochet the next 2, and then the next one is another leaf. So single crochet, chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, coming into the same one, and then 2 more single crochets in a row. Okay, and then here's the next one. So here's the final leaf. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 into the same one, single crochet, and then just single crochet finally into the last one, just like so. Okay, so that's what it looks like at this point. This is round number 4, row number 4, and the next one is our final row, and so it doesn't look like leaves yet, but we're gonna be playing within these spaces next. So here's the concluding row. So we're gonna turn our work one more time, and we're going to start off and chain 1 and single crochet into the very first one, and here's where we're going to start doing the repeat pattern. So the first, we just go right to the chain itself, and we do 1 single crochet, we do a half double crochet, we do a double crochet, and then we do 2 treble crochets. So we wrap twice for the trebles, we do 2 of those. And this time what we're gonna do at this point is that we're kind of in the middle of the leaf, we're a little bit past it, and we're going to chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3, and it's called a picot, and you come into the beginning chain that you started with that 3 and pull through and through as a slip stitch. And then what we're going to do is then treble again back into the space, and we decrease it going back down the other side. So 1 treble, 1 double, 1 half double, and 1 single. So you'll notice that this design, because you trebled or you did this in the second one, this picot, it makes the leaves look like they're going on a slight twist, which is kind of neat. So the next one that we just jump over all of this section and just go right to the next gapping space. So we start off with a single, we have a half double, we have a double, we have 2 trebles. So remember to wrap that hook twice for trebles. And then this is where that picot is again. So how to do that is you chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, going into the beginning chain of the 3, pulling through and through, and then you treble only once coming down the other side, and then you double, you half double, so you're getting smaller and smaller, and then you single. And so just keep that same patterning going. So just immediately just start the next one, and remember single, half, double, 2 trebles, the picot, a treble, a double, half double, and single down there, and I'll meet you back at the end of this line. So just keep repeating that. Once you get that final one in there, just make sure that you just single crochet to the very last single crochet that's available like this, and now you're done and you can fasten that off. So we're gonna do that and grab our fancy dancy scissors at this point and trim. And what I want to use is a darning needle to hide in these loose ends. Remember that it's really important because this will go through the wash machine, so I want to make sure that this is really buried into the stitching as well as this as well. So the next part we're going to do is that we're going to create the the actual chain in order for you to be able to hang your towel topper. Let me show you how to do that because I got a little technique for you just in case you don't have 2 balls of yarn. For the towel topper hanger section right here is that you're going to want to use 2 strands, but if you only have 1 yarn ball, no big deal. There's 2 ends to the yarn, right? There's one on the inside of the ball and one on the outside. So what I need to do is that I create an extra long tail here because I'm gonna use this to go through the towel in order to put it with the darning needle, and then I'm going to create a slip knot using both. So a nice thick chain just like so. And what I want to do is when I begin, I want to go through right through the center of your leaf. Okay, and then I'm gonna use both strands and going around and pulling it through. I really don't want this falling apart in a washing machine, so I just do that as an extra precaution. Okay, so I just do it the one time and then I let the stragglers fall out of the way so that I can use those afterward in order to sew the towel. So all I'm just going to do is just chain 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then I'm just gonna let more yarn come from here. That was 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And so I'm going to do this and slip stitch to the center just like so and pull it through and through like so. And I'm going to leave a generous tail on this side as well so I can use those to sew in those in afterward as well. And I'm just gonna use this and I'm just gonna pull it through. And just with the darning needle I'm gonna bury that. So the beginning ones that I started with for this chain is the ones that I'm going to use here in order to go through the towel. So I'm gonna hide these ones in, I'm gonna hide these ones in, and the towel, what I'm gonna do is that you can grab any towel and just fold it into a fan shape just like so. So you put this here on a darning needle and essentially all you just wanna do is going right through the fan section of your towel. Just go right through and then just go on the other side like so. I went through twice and then bring it back through the other side, go through the leaf one more time and then go back and then back to the front again, and just make sure you tie it really good on the inside here and just weave in your loose ends so that you can hide in the ends. So that would be how you would make a towel topper, and just again just using a darning needle, just go right through your work in order to make that happen, and this will be a kind of a cool towel topper. On behalf of the Yarn Inspirations as well as the Crochet Crowd, thank you so much for joining me today.